Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to S&J Sports Talk, man. We're back. My co-host Stanley. How you doing, man?
Hey, my brother. How are you?
Good, good.
I'm
good.
doing well.
Definitely, man. So listen up, guys. S&J Sports Talk. Go follow us real quick on Instagram if you haven't already. Subscribe to us on YouTube right now, the channel that you're watching this on. If you haven't already, obviously, go ahead and thumbs up the video. It really helps us out. And S&J Sports Talk. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on TikTok too.
TikTok,
yeah, we're on all there. So we'll be posting clips, guys. So just be sure to go follow us. And real quick before we get started, we want to hear. So go ahead, guys. Go ahead and leave in the comments a question you have about sports or something you want to know about me or Stanley. Just go ahead and leave in the comments, and we'll answer it the next video that we do. Mm-hmm. Or you can go ahead and send us a DM on Instagram. Just send us a DM on at S&J Sports Talk. Instagram, same profile pic as YouTube, and we'll answer it the next video that we do.
Definitely.
All right. So any question about sports or about us, just you want to know, definitely go ahead and do that.
That sounds good, man.
Yeah, man.
That sounds good. And getting into the episode for this week, man, we want to start off with the funniest thing we saw this week, y'all. And you want to start that off? What's the funny? We got this idea from TV. They always talk about the funniest thing I saw today or whatever. And I was like, we see so much funny stuff, and we send it back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
And like on Instagram or messages, but we don't share it with everybody.
Yeah,
so eventually we're gonna have the actual video clips, show them to you, and then talk about it while we go. But right now, what's the funniest thing you saw sports related this week?
This week,
funniest thing.
It's got to be Jimmy G, bro. Jimmy Garoppolo. It's like they're in the red zone. They're in the end zone. And he hikes the ball and he's shuffling back and he goes out of bounds.
Wait, what?
So he gets a safety for the team. So I was like,
he shuffled back with the football. Like he didn't get ran or tackled out.
No, he was like, you know how like when they hike the football, they take a few steps back.
Yeah,
he took too many steps back. yeah, man. It was.
Wait, hold
crazy.
on. Did they lose the game?
Yeah, they lost the game by 1 point.
Hey, that's that Kaepernick curse I tell you all about. That Kaepernick curse. Kaepernick was back there and threw him right out of bounds. They lost the game, so them and the Raiders are struggling, huh?
Oh, the Raiders are 0-3, man.
And San Francisco at least won one.
Yeah, San Francisco at least won one.
He ran out of bounds. Just shuffled back.
Yeah, he was looking for some wide receiver or whatnot. That's gotta be the funniest thing I saw this week.
Yeah, that's pretty funny right there. That's pretty funny. What is the funniest thing I saw this week? The funniest thing I saw this week was it was the sports commentators on ESPN and Malika Andrews and Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith had to. I don't appreciate where you're going with that. I am not against women. That was the funniest thing I saw. And Malika Andrews, she was funny. I don't even know who this woman is, but she's a funny she's a funny individual. And she was talking to, I think, Kendrick Perkins on NBA Today, and they were talking about this Boston Celtics situation, which we'll get into later on in the show. But she basically was trying to check Kendrick Perkins about the situation going on with the Boston Celtics. And Kendrick Perkins is someone who used to play with the Boston Celtics, won a championship with the Boston Celtics. Yeah. And I think he's still connected with the organization pretty well. So he was basically telling her, like, I know what's going on in this situation. And Malika was like, thank you for your perspective. And I'm like, who is Malika? Like, does she work for the Celtics? Who is she? Like, that was a funny thing. If you saw that on TV, you know what I'm talking about. Malika Andrews going in on Kendrick Perkins and going in on Stephen A. Smith. Both of them had to kind of be like, no. Kendrick Perkins said, look, I know the situation. I'm not having no perspective. I know what happened.
Yeah, so, that's real funny because we're talking about that. But the thing that's like interesting about the reporters now is like you have people like Molly on First Take, right?
Yeah.
She honestly annoys me, like just like she starts like talking and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're a host, just be the host. Like you're not the debater like Stephen A. Smith or Max or whoever's on First Take right now, right?
Right.
But like that's why like the show like Get Up, I forget the host's name, but like he literally does his job. The host, he sets it up. He asks him a question. He doesn't really be giving. He gives his opinion every now. Like I don't care if the host gives their opinion or whatnot, but it's like if you're an NBA host, if you're a host on the show, like just be the host.
That's a good point. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like do you feel there should be a limit on, or what I should actually this way? What's the line for a commentator, someone on First Take, NBA Today, people who've never played in the NBA, never played in the NFL, but maybe they're just real big fans. Like they analyze it, they study it, they know the statistics of everyone. What's the line of how much their opinion should really matter to the world? Because you have some of these people get on TV and they're talking bad about someone like Kevin Durant or Russell Westbrook. He's played the worst year he had all year. Brian Windhorst on there talking about Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
And Russell Westbrook is a living legend of the NBA forever. Like he's done records that they didn't even think people would break, and he broke those records. So when you get a guy on TV and they just talking about like, well, he had an awful season last year. What's the line of someone who's never played the sport on a professional level? How much should they be able to say just because they have the observations and the behind the scenes in the locker rooms? How much should they be able to say?
I mean, that's tough because at the same time, it's like the NBA players, they get paid millions to deal with it, you know? So it's like, and that kind of, you can talk to some of them, that kind of really does help them, like what the reporters say about them or whatnot. But I mean, I there's definitely a line. Like, I mean, you shouldn't go. I don't know. I don't think there is a line. I don't think there's a line when it comes to like sports or commentating or whatnot. I don't think there's a line for like someone like Kendrick Perkins or Matt Barnes on ESPN that's talking about them because they play in the NBA. So I don't think there's a line for them. But like, if you haven't played in the NBA, I feel like there's a certain line where it's like, you know,
there
like,
needs to be a reverence to the players. I think that's what I'm getting at. Is it's not that you can't have an opinion.
Yeah,
me and you haven't played in the professional leagues. Yeah, but we have opinions. Yeah, we have ideals. But let somebody like Matt Barnes walk in here and share, hey, no, an NBA player doesn't do it like this. Yeah. I'm not going to be like, no, Matt, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Thank you for your perspective. Now leave. I'm going to be like, okay, wow, we got some insider information from someone who played in the league here.
He played in the NBA, bro.
That's what I would do.
He played in the NBA, yeah.
I mean, some of these people, that's kind of the issue people have with Skip Bayless. When he was on First Take, and he would just start talking bad about people.
I feel like the thing with Skip Bayless too is they got too much ego. Like they're used to always being right on the show. Like they're never used to being wrong. And when they do get NBA player on their show, they're like, no, I'm still gonna stand my ground or whatnot. But
they're trying to be the top reporter.
Yeah, like they want to be the top journalist or something. I don't know what for, but it's like, dude, people are still gonna watch your show, man. Like
they're trying to get their promotions and everything, and you can almost tell sometimes that some people have their little job position secure, right? But then you can tell the people who are really trying to do the most to get the promotion.
Trying to get their promotion.
They're on an internship right now at ESPN or Fox Sports, and they're just going overboard. Because I remember,
that's where all the crazy predictions come in. Like when people, you know, but you got someone saying the Lakers are gonna win a championship this year or something. It's like
some of this stuff. It seems like clickbait too. Yeah, like people will say stuff on TV that they know will get views.
They be doing that on YouTube too. I hate the clickbait. You know what I hate the most is when they have when they say Stephen A. Smith said this on First Take on YouTube. And then you click on it, he's not even in the video.
He's not even in the video.
He's not even in the video, right. Bro. I'm like, what?
Man, he's not even in the video. That's one of the truest things there. So, yeah.
You put his picture up there in the thumbnail.
Yeah, because you know people are going to want to watch that. So, yeah, I think there needs to be a reverence for the actual players of the game. The NBA owners, most of the NBA owners never played in the NBA except Michael. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They never played, a lot of them never played professional sports. That's why they hire someone to be the general manager of the team, and then the president of basketball operations.
Yeah, they don't know nothing about basketball.
Right? They want someone who knows a little bit more to deal with it. So I just think there needs to be a lot more respect from commentators. I don't care if it's Molly or Malika, Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless. There needs to be respect for when the players, former players, current players, and older players, when they speak on a situation about the players or about the game of basketball, maybe not so much about the other side of basketball operations, like the business and all the behind the scenes, but when they speak about basketball and what they know, they need to be honored when they're talking. That's my thing. I mean,
yeah, to a certain point. I mean, like obviously, like if they still have their own opinions about something, then yeah. But it's like I feel like some of these reporters do like get disrespectful with their cross the line sometimes. You know, like
it's like, what in the world are you?
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking bad about Westbrook for? Like, you really want him to like go down or something? Like,
yeah. That's the type of stuff that gets me.
And honestly,
and no one's talking bad about your job on TV. No one, as a commentator. No one's on TV talking about how bad. Oh, last year he was terrible at commentating. Did you hear these questions? He was just a terrible host on First Take. Terrible no one's even saying those type of things publicly about him, but they're on TV every morning talking bad about these professional athletes who are almost in a way considered heroes to a lot of people in their community.
Yeah, the thing about Westbrook too is he didn't have a bad season last year.
That's the thing. But like his numbers, who never played tell you
his numbers were good. They were lower than his MVP years, right?
Okay.
But his numbers were still good and
still solid.
And listen, he was the only superstar playing last year. LeBron James out. Anthony Davis was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And so it's like he was the only superstar playing. He was going out there playing hard every night. So it's like, for you to just sit there and talk bad about him, it's like, come on.
So that's it. Transitioning on, it's that's just a question I had to throw at you real quick, because it's like I keep seeing this all the time about these different commentators and the players, and I can bring back so many situations I'm thinking of where a commentator got into it with a player over a player knowing what he's talking about. So, but man, transitioning to the next topic. For those of you who do not know, there was a big situation last podcast that me and my host Jonathan did last week. We were on the podcast and we were talking about a situation with the Phoenix Suns owner, where the Phoenix Suns owner at the time, he was being forced to sell the team. I guess the NBA owners, the league got together and they said, hey, this guy needs to get out of here because of what they've investigated, and they saw him using the N-word. They saw him using they said he was using misogynistic comments, and I guess he was exposing towards himself and doing some stuff sexual. Now that's some sexual assault right there. Any type of sexual assault or harassment, you want to talk about exposing yourself to some employees and kind of talking about her body parts that got done. But also, like I said, the first thing was him just using racial terms at the office, and I believe towards individuals, or speaking about individuals who work for him. So from that situation, while we were on our podcast, I got a notification. You can go back and watch our last podcast, and I got a notification that said, oh, Woj report. You know Woj, that W-O-J. And it said, Woj report, Coach Ime Udoka, and he is facing suspension or disciplinary actions for reasons not detailed at this time. This is ESPN. I'm on the team podcast policy live, and I get this. So I'm like,
team policy,
The first thing I said was, why are they sharing with us that he's about to be disciplined if they're not even sharing with us what he did?
It's none of our business.
They don't need to talk about anything with him being disciplined until he's disciplined and tell us what he did. Yeah. But other than that, there's no news. I said, they're just throwing this story in here. This is after a week of thinking of it. I said, they must be throwing this story in here to kind of cover up what was happening with the Phoenix Suns owner. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at what happened with the Phoenix Suns owner, the next question that always comes up is, well, who else of the NBA owners has a bad past or a racial past or racial view where they don't care about the black players, or they have no respect for the black culture, but they still will make money off of these people? So that's the situation that happened with last week on the podcast. And so this week, have you heard more situations about the Boston Celtics and Coach Ime Udoka that you might want to share?
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Go ahead and share the rest of what happened with.
The thing that surprised me, and you actually brought up a good point with the Suns owner. I was like, you said they're bringing this up publicly all over ESPN to like, to take the pressure off of the Suns or whatnot. And honestly, you haven't heard nothing about the Suns owner in
a week.
You haven't heard nothing, right? But so the thing that surprised me about the situation was, first off, I think all of us can agree Boston handled this situation totally wrong. It was like there was no reason for you to publicize.
Oh well, let them know what happened.
Yeah, so
with the Boston Celtics and what they're saying happened with Coach Ime. I haven't even informed them yet.
Yeah, so right. So what happened was Ime Udoka apparently had a relationship with
a consensual relationship with a female employee,
right?
Broke team policy.
He broke team policy.
And he's been on TV all week.
But I mean,
it's laughable.
I mean, yeah. When you look at it, yeah, he did break team policy, and like he said, he literally posted to Twitter about it. He was like, "Hey, I take responsibility for my actions, blah blah blah." You know, saying all the good stuff, right, or all the stuff, right. But basically, so that's what happened. So basically, the team Boston suspends him for a year, indefinitely though. So they don't even know if he's coming back after that year. Okay. So, I mean, I think that's the thing that surprised me was
it's not even guaranteed he'll be back.
Yeah, it's either like fire him, or keep him. And first, Boston did not need to publicize all this because, you know, watching a lot of reporters over the weekend and this week, apparently there's been more situations like this in the NBA and in the NFL.
My goodness.
Like over the past 20 years, there's been like a million situations like this, and they haven't been publicized like this. So I don't know why you publicize this.
Yeah.
I mean, someone could have some bad blood with the coach or whatnot, and they linked it out or whatnot. But I mean, my thing with the Boston is like, and then they go ahead and suspend him. So he's not fired, so he can't get another job. He's still on his contract. But he can't coach. He can't go anywhere.
It really seems like a situation that just tarnishes his name.
Yeah.
And he's responsible for what his actions were while doing it. That's why I'm glad he owned up to it. He didn't try to shy away. He owned up to what he did. Everything like that. That's how you deal with a mistake, man. Whenever you get caught in a mistake and something happens, you don't blame, you don't point fingers. You own it. Yeah. I did that. I did that. I did it. And so that's what you do. That's how you handle those mistakes. And then can't nobody really fault you. No one's really even tripping off of him. The conversation all week on ESPN has been about, well, who's the woman involved? We're not even tripping about the woman. She's not a coach, not a player, can't be a coach or a player. But they might have female coaches. I don't know. They might have some female coaches on the staff or whatnot. But I don't think it was any of those individuals. From what we hear, someone higher up.
It was someone lower than the coach.
Yeah. Oh, lower than the coach. Okay. Yeah. I've been hearing it was somebody in the higher office.
Oh, you've been hearing something different.
But see, we just hearing rumors. But the thing about it is, the first thing I wanted to know was, I said it's not legal because the police aren't involved and he's not arrested.
It's not illegal. Yeah.
It's not like, hey, we have to get him off the team because he's facing 3 to 5 years in prison. Remember when Montrezl Harrell got caught with marijuana in his truck? That he's facing felony charges. And we're like, this ain't no felon. This
he's out. He signed with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, but they put these things out here that kind of tarnish your name. Yeah. And then once your name is tarnished, you can't get the same type of contract because everyone knows what comes along with signing an Antonio Brown now, or what comes along with a Coach Udoka now. Like he has this image. Kyrie Irving even. You know who the other one is? Who's the other one they did that to with his image, and then he had to take like a really small contract. I can't think of the name right now.
What are you talking about?
It happens a lot. Montrezl Harrell is one that we just shared, but it happens a lot where it's like people will just be facing all types of criminal charges, and then someone's like, I don't know if I want to really deal with this individual anymore.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. The Boston Celtics, they definitely put it out there. I don't know if the Boston Celtics did it on their own. I think the NBA might have been like, hey, we're going to have somebody else consequence, because they said this stuff they knew about since June. And for them to come out a week before the season suspended him while all this stuff is going on with Robert Sawyer, man,
I don't know, man.
I'm like, there's something else fishy going on here.
There's something fishy going on in that organization.
And not only that, if he did something that was so bad to get suspended for a year, somebody else has to go down too. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Somebody hired Coach Udoka. Yeah. When you hire somebody and bring somebody in, you're signing off on their actions too. You're like, hey, this is my person.
Right.
If he did something so bad, he's not the only one involved. That's what everybody knows.
That's kind of what Kendrick Perkins was saying on ESPN. He was like, yeah, he should face some discipline, right? But like, honestly, I don't think what he did. You know, if it was a consensual relationship, I don't think it's that bad. But he did break team policy. That's where everyone's going at. He did break team policy. So yeah, he did do something wrong, right? But honestly, like, that's what Kendrick Perkins was kind of saying was, yeah, like, someone else should be held accountable in this situation.
The whole situation is not honest now. That's the problem. It's not all honest right now.
Saying, like, coach, like, what the coach did, what Ime Udoka did was wrong.
He did was wrong.
But someone else has some part in this, and they're not being. He's like,
they're not being.
And that's
honest.
why he was mad. He was like, why are they not publicized too?
Yeah,
like, they should be publicized too.
A very good point. A very good point right there. And as I've shared, I look at things from that aspect of this Robert Sawyer guy was just caught saying the N-word all over to his employees or whatever. And then we're not even talking about him. We're talking about Coach Udoka. We're talking about, now the conversation is about men, women, rights, and
ESPN just
are males being misogynistic. But the misogynistic one was Robert Sawyer. Remember? He was the misogynistic one.
Yeah.
He wasn't in no consensual relationship with the employees he was exposing himself to and talking about their body parts. So, it's just like they had to take the focus off of him. Because shoot, we had the LA Clippers owner. We had the owner of the Phoenix Suns. You had Dan Gilbert almost lost his team because when LeBron went to Miami, he wrote a very racist letter about LeBron James. And they basically look at these black NBA players as labor or employees that are making them rich. Yeah. That's it. These aren't white people who really, in general, be messing with the black community like that. They're really not. Outside of the fact that, hey, these NBA players, they are the best athletes in the world. These black players are some of the best athletes in the world, and we want them to shine. We want them to shine on the court to make us money. Robert Kraft got caught up in sexual harassment or sexual assault lawsuits. We didn't see nothing happen to him.
Yeah, we
didn't see nothing happen to him.
Well,
you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the story got buried. People don't even remember it.
With the owners, though, yeah, if I'm
billionaires don't go to jail.
Yeah, if I'm
that's
true.
What happens. They don't go to jail.
They own them. If I'm an owner though, I don't want my players to play good too. So it's I wouldn't say like all of them don't mess with the black community, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
though. But
it opens up the door when you start looking at every owner and how they start talking about their players, especially when they get older. Especially, don't get me started on Jerry Jones. The way they talk about their players, Jerry Jones just looked like somebody who is like, I can't play for a team owned by this guy. It's just, he told all his players, don't you kneel no more. Remember when Kaepernick kneeled? He told all the Cowboy players, don't kneel no more. So these NBA owners are white male billionaires. That is, when you talk about like the top 10%, top 1%, a white male billionaire is the top percent in the U.S.
Top 1%
these people
of
live
the 1%,
something, they live a different life. And really, I think a lot of athletes have been frustrated from the NFL, the NBA. A lot of the black athletes have just been frustrated with all the pushback and all the racial talk that they have to deal with just wanting to play a sport.
Yeah, like they're trying to do what they love, but it's like at the same time that they get
brought into all the political stuff.
And
all the
they
time.
Don't have power or like they don't have the freedom to say what they actually want to say because you'll get fined for saying anything nowadays.
You'll get fined for not saying anything like Marshawn Lynch did. Marshawn Lynch didn't say nothing. They fined him for that.
Yeah.
Then he showed up and said, "I'm here so I don't get fined." And he got a contract from Skittles, so he was doing his thing. But yeah, man, there's so much we could talk about. We could keep talking about the situation. Nia Long. A lot of people. It's so funny because I scroll through my social media profiles and I see different people talking about different things.
They all have different opinions.
You got black women. They're talking from the perspective of how could he cheat on Nia Long. Then you have other people talking about he broke team policy. That's all that matters. Then you got other people talking about this is sexual harassment. He forced something on a woman that didn't want it. And then you have other people like myself who are like, this is just to cover up the Robert Sawyer situation.
Yeah.
A male athlete.
You got someone like me who doesn't care about it.
a male who just took his team to the championship, he got options. A male with Nia Long has options because Nia Long is a beautiful sister. If you show up with a beautiful sister, you're going to have other options too. Because other options are like, if Nia Long's with him, it must be some good to this brother. So he had options. I don't know who he messed with. I hope she don't come out looking like, you know what I'm saying? I hope he don't. Let me not say this. I was about to say something I don't need to say, but I hope she don't come out looking bad and then some like, now we ain't got no mercy on you, brother. You messed up with that. I hope it's nothing like that. But the Boston Celtics, this is one of the organizations that everybody talks about being one of the most racial. And I'm kind of going in on the race thing right now, but it's one of those organizations that everyone has always talked about historically has been very racially divided. And to see, Brad Stevens and the other white guy sit up there and suspend another black man for something he did sexually, which was not illegal, but it was just probably made some white people feel uncomfortable.
He broke the policy.
Messing with that. But there's more people in that. There's more people who broke the policy. So they did not suspend him for breaking the policy because 2 people broke a policy.
Yes.
So they did not suspend him for the policy.
No. I don't think so. Cause
what'd you think?
Because I was watching ESPN. The policy is at the coach, the position that he was in, it was for he would be the one with the consequence, not the other person.
Oh, so if it was a higher to lower rank.
I think the higher rank would be the one that gets suspended, not the other person. But I think with what we were wanting to see, we were like, why is it not that both of them get suspended, or not that both of them get suspended?
I mean, what if you find out she was just like a training staff woman? Does she need to be suspended from training the players now, or is she just fired from her job?
I mean, like I said, personally, I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, but like, he broke policy. That's what people are looking at here. But I mean, I don't really think I think they should switch the policy up for sure. Okay. I mean, if it's like,
well, that's in a lot of companies. You can't have that. Yeah. But let me just say this.
That is.
I'm watching the Hulu documentary Legacy. I've talked about the last 3 times. On the documentary, they're talking about when Phil Jackson comes to coach the Lakers. Phil Jackson starts dating the daughter of the owner. There's Jerry Buss, the owner, Dr. Jerry Buss, and then he has a daughter, Jeannie Buss. Jeannie Buss is now the owner of the Lakers. She was dating Phil Jackson for I think 6 or 8 years while he was coaching the Lakers, and she was still in basketball operations. So they definitely were co-mingling. I don't know if they couldn't do it. Was it in that situation? Oh, you can date a family member of the owner, but you can't date a female staff. You lower. I think
different teams have different policies.
Possibly, because it doesn't sound like he broke NBA policy.
Yeah, it wasn't. That was just a team policy. It wasn't NBA policy.
Okay, so this is a team policy. Well, then the NBA needs to have some policies about these teams' policies. The NBA needs to have a policy where the teams can't be making some of these policies. The bottom line is this man should not have been suspended for a year.
You're saying like
he should not have been suspended for a year.
Me personally, I think you should have just kept him as a coach. Or fire him. I don't think. Or
fired him. Yeah,
I don't think he should have been suspended. Like
he shouldn't have been suspended.
And
for
definitely
a year.
Too.
And the bigger thing is, why are we focusing on this? This could have just been a clip that was. It was like Coach Ime Udoka broke team policy. He's going to be facing some time. They're going to be without their coach for a little while this season or this season, and move on. Every single day they've talked about this situation on sports and social media. And they're no longer talking about this Robert Sawyer and all the other possibly, potentially racist owners in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Mark Cuban has sexual harassment accusations.
Everyone has accusations, man.
Mark Cuban has some stuff that came out about his employees at his place, and some billionaires got that money to quiet stuff down.
True that, but also when like any millionaire or any billionaire. There's always going to be accusations. There's always going to be accusations. Someone's always going to want to get something from.
But he had a number of employees that were saying, "Hey, the work environment XYZ," which I didn't necessarily believe all the accusations. Mm-hmm. I didn't believe all of them from what I was listening to. I'm hearing, but what I'm saying is, these people get accusations. It was blown up, but like someone does something like this, if he just broke a team policy, he shouldn't be all over the news for a week.
Yeah,
there's no reason for this brother to be over the news for this whole week.
Yeah,
instead of Robert Sawyer, I want to know more about Robert Sawyer. He's forced to sell the team.
I want to know more about
he still needs to pay a donation. Yeah. Listen, hold on, let me go on this. Anthony Edwards just got fined, and I was going to ask you this question about what your thoughts were on this situation too.
I see
Anthony Edwards just got fined $40,000 or $50,000 for using the word queer in a social media post. I think it was an Instagram live post. He just got fined $40,000 or $50,000 for saying, "Oh, this guy over here looks queer." When you know what the definition of queer means?
Weird,
or strange. Different dictionaries. And as a matter of fact, a queer individual.
That was the first definition of it.
The individual who told me to go look that up was somebody who was identifying as queer. She told me. She said, I said, "Well, what does that mean?" And she said it means like strange or awkward with our sexual identity or whatnot. That's how she was explaining it to me. That's how she. So then I looked it up and I said, "Oh, it means strange." I didn't know what the Q meant, but I'm sure it has other meanings. Just like I'm sure gay has other meanings, but gay means happy.
Yeah, that's
gay
what it
originally
really
means happy. That's what it just originally means. People make it I guess some guys got too happy and they said, you look gay or something like that. But to call someone queer, to call someone strange, or to call someone awkward, are you supposed to be fined for that? They fined him.
Yeah.
I just feel like they had to put other people on spot.
Yeah.
Instead of it being this white man who was saying something negative about the black community. Now watch this, man. I'm going to go a step further. Anthony Edwards says something queer, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, his old self came out here talking about he needs to donate money to the LGBTQ community. Do you remember what I told you about Robert Sawyer? Or whatever the Phoenix Suns owner's name is?
Yeah, he needs to donate.
I said he needs to compensate the communities he wronged. If he was out there saying the N-word, he wronged the black community. He needs to compensate them. Where's the donations? And the NBA, you know what? And all the analysts and the news,
the NBA's not going to care about that, man.
The news people are sitting here talking about he's going to make he's going to make billions off of this team. He's going to sell this team and make his money. So they're trying to make it seem like he's not. Listen, man. Racism at its core is white people making money off of non-white people. That's racist. So he said some racist stuff and he's about to make money off of it. He's coming up.
I mean,
he's coming up.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're disciplining him. Like, I agree. The suspension, it wasn't the 1 year suspension with the Suns owner. It wasn't enough, right? Like, there should have been more. And I mean,
they gave Udoka the same suspension.
Yeah, they gave him a 1 year suspension for that, which is crazy.
You would have to suspend me. I'd be gone.
So
I'd be gone.
To go back to what was your regular question for Anthony Edwards? You're saying, do you think it's wrong for him should he have been fined for using the word queer? And people from the LGBTQ community, let us know in the comments. Is it just straight up disrespectful to call someone queer? If you're talking about this person being awkward or strange, is it disrespectful? Is it wrong? Let us know. If it is, we need to know these things. I mean, like in the first definition of that word is weird, strange, or whatnot, awkward, right? Yeah. So I mean,
that's how queer person defined it to me.
All
yeah. I don't know if I should say queer person.
All I saw was the clip of him saying it. Yeah, all I saw was the clip of him saying it. I don't know if the people were or not, were gay or not, right? But I mean, I say like I don't think he should like. That's something like if they were gay, obviously you can see that they were gay. And he's making fun of them for that, then I mean, like, alrighty, me personally, that's another point. That's another point. Hold on. So me personally, with NBA, NFL players, I feel like whatever they say on Instagram, you shouldn't be fining them for that. Like, I feel like whatever
they have a personal life, huh?
Yeah, like let them have their personal life. Like if they have a different opinion that goes against the world, they shouldn't they shouldn't be fined for that at all. Like let them have their let them say what they want, right? But with that being,
where you let a white guy say the N-word on Instagram? Because he'd be having he would be having all types of pushback from the NBA. They're like, oh no, we need to boycott so and so who's saying this.
Yeah, I mean,
so there has to be something.
I mean, obviously there's some limit to it, right? There's some limits here, right? But I'm saying in this situation, though, I don't think. I know Anthony Edwards. He's famous. He's a
young dude too. He's young,
but he's a millionaire dude. He's in the NBA. I think if he's posting something on Instagram, he knows he's not gonna go on Instagram talking about the LGBTQ community, right? Like, I just don't think he'd do that. So I don't think he should have been fined. But I mean, I understand it though.
Just another way to take the attention off of Robert Sawyer, man. I mean, it was a slick move how they did it. They took the attention off of him. No one. This is the thing that gets me, Jonathan. This is the thing that gets me. Then we're gonna move on to the next topic.
What gets you?
This is the thing that gets me. All of these people making videos about Malika Andrews and Coach Ime Udoka and the Boston Celtics, they didn't have that same. They're talking about, well, black men and black women this, and they're talking about, well, the sexual harassment in the workplace for males is terrible. They're talking about all this stuff for this situation, but they weren't talking about Robert Sawyer like that. All these YouTube videos weren't out about Robert Sawyer got caught saying this and making a workplace environment, and people weren't going hard at him.
Yeah,
they weren't going hard at him.
The NBA already given them their consequence. His consequence.
His year consequence.
Udoka
has a year consequence, and people are still going in on him.
It was different though. So for the Suns, I get what you're saying, but for the Suns, when we heard about the Suns owner and what he did, they already announced that year suspension. They're like, he's been suspended a year for this or that.
Right.
The Boston Celtics, when Ime Udoka, when we found out about him, they were still doing the investigation. They didn't tell us he was suspended for a year or whatnot. And so that's why like people probably have a bigger problem with this situation. Mm-hmm. That's probably why people have a bigger problem with it.
Yeah, and the report said a consensual relationship.
Yeah, if it's, I don't get
a consensual relationship.
Like, yeah, the media's kind of trying,
If it was a lady of lower employee, say, hey, he dealt with someone who was of lower employee. He uses whatever status to receive sexual favors, which everybody uses their status to receive something. Everybody exchanges. Yeah. Everybody exchanges something. So, team policy. We'll keep that in team stuff in-house and don't share it all with the whole world like that and demonize somebody's name.
Like I said, that happens in almost every organization, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, it happens so much. That's why you see so many of the men up there on TV defending Coach Ime. Like, wait, hold on. If this happened to him, I've done some stuff myself. But, man, wonderful thoughts and wonderful conversation on that topic. It's been a hot topic all week. So we had to touch on it, definitely.
We got to touch on it for sure.
We definitely had to touch on it. Let's transition, man. Let's do one thing you do not know
about us.
About S&J Sports Talk. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, some of you all know us personally, and some of you all never met us in person.
Yeah.
And
we do appreciate all the fans that watch this.
We appreciate everybody. Everyone we coming on up. But so let's just share one thing about the other individual hosts, about something that maybe the audience does not know.
I'm sharing one thing about me or you.
You're going to share one thing about me.
All right.
I'm going to share one thing about you. Y'all, this is on the spot. So, I mean, anything that comes out is genuine. We don't even really...
You go ahead and go first, man.
I got to go first? Okay, let's see. One thing you do not know about Jonathan Winters... Oh, I shouldn't have said your full name, huh? They all know who you are now. But
that's the one thing. That's the one thing.
That's the one thing. All right. No, let's say Jonathan. You might not know this from watching the S&J Sports Talk, but Jonathan is very intuitive. He has a really, really. I don't know if it's a ability to just know things, but to be intuitive and know things is what it is. I remember one time. The family was about to take a trip to, I think it was San Diego, and it was like a month in advance. He just kept saying, he was like, oh, we're not going to leave. The flight was scheduled to leave on Sunday morning. And he was like, we're not going to leave on Sunday morning at 9:30. Like, that's what time the flight was. And he kept saying it, and no one knew. I wasn't flying, but the rest of the family was flying. I was taking a train. I don't even like flying. So so he's sitting there, and he just kept saying, like, every time the family would bring up the trip, he's like, we're not leaving Sunday at 9:30 in the morning. It's not going to happen. Trust me, something's going to happen. And he kept saying it, down to the week up. And then I think finally you almost got in trouble for saying it. It's like our parents were like, man, like, you don't want to hear your negativity and your thing. And we're not, So finally the day comes. It's Sunday morning. And they're about to fly we're in San Diego, right?
We're like halfway to the airport.
Y'all was driving I thought you were at the house. You all was driving
to the airport.
I was already on the road. I'm driving.
We were like 5 minutes away.
They were on their way to the airport early in the morning. Y'all got up early in the morning, huh? Like 8 something. Yeah. And what was it, raining that day?
Yeah.
So I think 5 minutes away. They get like 5 minutes to the airport, and they receive a message on the phone that says weather delays, and their flight was not leaving till like 2 p.m. that day. 3:15.
Yeah.
So they went back to the house and had to wait. I'm already on my way out there to San Diego. This wasn't even that long ago, and I just remember after all of that, I remember thinking like Jonathan really had some intuition there where he knew something, and he knew it way ahead of time that something was. He's like, I just could feel that this is not about to go down the way everybody else does, even though everyone's in the car driving there in a month in advance. And sure enough, he held that belief all the way until it happened, and it happened. So Jonathan's very intuitive. That's one thing you may not know about him, and I'm trying to give him something that's not sports related. I can tell him about your 45-point game last year. No, I'm playing, but I'm just keeping sports related on the or non-sports related on the intuition. That's one thing you would not know about Jonathan.
Yeah.
W.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's the one thing they do not know about me? Keep it clean, brother. Keep it clean.
I'm blanking right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. One thing y'all might not know about Stanley right here. Y'all might not know that Stanley is. Let's see here. Let's see. Stanley's very.
It could be anything. You don't have to say. You don't have to do one like I did. It could be whatever you want.
Stanley is very. He's very intelligent on whatever he talks about. So like.
Thank you.
I mean, it's true. Sometimes.
Appreciate it. Please.
But yeah, like if we're talking about anything, he's gonna go do his research. Like if you're talking about anything with him, he's gonna do his research before arguing or whatnot. He knows what he's talking about. You know, he's not the type to just hear something on Instagram, see it on Instagram, and then just go off of that. He actually goes and does the research online and whatnot. And like he's a very chill person. Obviously, if he's if you're in an argument with him, you might notice that he never debates back. He'll just only ask questions. You know, he never gives his point. He only asks questions when you're in a debate or argument with him. But yeah.
Hey, that's wonderful, man. I appreciate it, my brother. That was a pretty good one. I appreciate that. And
yours is all right, man.
The intuition, huh? Hey, let's did you have anything else we were about to?
Nah.
Because I was about to go
into the
I wanted to get into some NFL talk.
NFL, yeah.
A little NFL talk real quick.
Yeah.
What happened in week 3 of the NFL? I didn't hear much
nothing
talk.
happened.
You shared what happened with Jimmy G. They lost that game. Who were they playing that game?
The Denver Broncos.
Ooh, Russell Wilson's 2-1 now, right?
Yeah.
I knew they were gonna pick up steam.
Yeah.
It was tough. They lost that.
It's always tough to lose the first game.
And to Seattle, but it was like
your old team.
Okay.
It was like, and Seattle hasn't won since, so it's like
it's okay.
Yeah,
so
I mean, Seattle, we gotta do better.
I saw something with the Oakland Raiders. I saw
they're 0-3.
Someone was talking about, hey, they wish they were playing with Aaron Rodgers as opposed to Derek Carr. I was like, man, I never was sold on Derek Carr. It's these quarterbacks that have one good season, like a really good season, and then everybody loves him. And then I think he was a Christian too, so it was like,
Derek Carr's he's like a Ryan Tannehill.
Nah. Ryan Tannehill just looks defeated when you're looking at him. I'm sorry, when you look at Ryan Tannehill, he doesn't look like his whole team looks defeated.
Yeah, they don't believe in him. They don't
exactly.
believe in him.
That's the difference. Derek Carr, they can 0-3. There's still hope at the end of the tunnel. It's at the end of the tunnel because you're not gonna know if you're gonna make the playoffs till the end, but there's still hope. They still got solid players. They just got to get some
Devontae
stuff done.
Adams, but in their division,
it's not going to
There's no hope no more.
There's no hope.
They're done.
0-3.
They're like the Cowboys. They need to go prepare for next season, bro.
Cowboys always are preparing for next season. The Cowboys, boy, I still see the fans with all their stuff, and they know they're not going nowhere no more.
Hey, Cowboys fans are loyal, so you got to give them that.
They are loyal, or they're just blind sheep. But we'll see which one it is. No disrespect to the Cowboy fans. Actually, we got Cowboy fans in the family, so no disrespect to them. What about what's happening with Lamar Jackson? My man Lamar Jackson, he had a good game this Sunday, right?
Yeah, 5 touchdowns, man.
5 touchdowns and a W.
He still doesn't have his contract extension yet.
Still no contract.
So
crazy. Can they give him a contract extension during the season?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I
But
know he said he'll stop talking about. He won't push it.
Yeah.
So they want to see how he plays. This man deserves the contract.
Yeah, it's getting
we know
money.
He deserves the contract. They probably
they're gonna mess around. They're gonna mess around, and he's gonna be on another team next year.
Yeah, I mean, the older people get, the more they start looking around. Like, wait, hold on a second. Y'all paid him more. Y'all brought in extra people over here. Y'all got new buildings up over here. Y'all ain't paid me more. Y'all ain't got money for me. You know what I'm saying? So, because we haven't heard about the Baltimore Ravens seriously since Ray Lewis left.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis left in 2012, 2013. This was around
then we heard about Lamar Jackson.
Then Lamar Jackson came through. So it's like, okay, he saved the franchise, really.
Yeah.
But anything else in NFL Week 3 we need to touch on? What Monday Night Football game? I didn't watch it.
Monday Night Football game.
Monday Night Football game.
Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants.
Oh,
I mean, it was really nothing to watch. I mean, the Cowboys won, but I mean, it's the New York Giants. Come on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's that's pretty much it. We have
But what about your Seahawks, man? You didn't let us know about your Seahawks.
Hey man, there's nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about with your team.
Nothing to talk about.
They didn't win this week.
Yeah, we lost to the Falcons, bro.
The Falcons.
Yeah, our defense is still the same, so we're gonna.
Defense is still the same. How's Geno doing? How's Geno Smith doing?
Geno in the offense, they kind of did their thing this week. They had like 21, 23 points. Oh, so they were doing their thing. It was the defense couldn't get a stop. So, I mean, it's hard to win when your defense can't get a stop.
Yeah, they had their offense together. Yeah, they still got their offense. He's not Russell Wilson, but he's solid.
Yeah,
so
he's solid.
We live and die with it. Alrighty, let's see. What else do we have going on, man?
Let's see your East and West.
Oh, a little NBA talk real quick. Question I wanted to ask you, Jonathan. Who is your surprise NBA team?
Ooh.
In the East and in the West. One in each standings, one in each conference. Who's your surprise team that's going to be an actual solid team that surprises people in the... Let's do the East first. Let's do the East first because the rest is a little tougher.
I think that...
Who's no one talking about that actually is going to get some attention?
The East, I think the Atlanta Hawks will get a lot of attention.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Murray over there, Trae Young and everyone. I think they'll get a lot of attention over there. I don't think they're getting a lot of attention right now, but I think they're definitely because they got two good guards. and Trae Young and what's his name again? Murray.
Yeah.
Devontae Murray. Yeah.
Or DeJounte.
That's what it was. Yeah. So
I'm thinking DeJounte Adams.
Murray. Yeah. They were them two guards together. I think they'll be a force to be reckoned with. You know.
You know what?
Yeah.
When it comes to the East, I gotta agree.
Yeah.
Because Trae Young already be doing his thing every season. 40, 48, 50 points, whatever he does. They already can't stop him. But they just double team him. He's just been like the only one really, I'm talking about as a guard.
Yeah.
You know, they had that other shooter, Herter, or I think his name is Herter. But they didn't have anybody else, and now with DeJounte Murray, they got someone who DeJounte Murray was almost averaging
They can take the load off of
last year in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Oh, he can take the load off big time and then dish to Trae Young for the three. Atlanta's going to be a team that's actually, I think, going to shine a lot brighter than people are thinking. So that's the East for me. With the West, I'll go with the West first and then let you go. Give you a moment to think about it. The West. The surprise team in the West is going to be, now if the Sacramento Kings make it, that will be the surprise team. But the surprise team I'm going to go with is, I think the LA Clippers are going to be very solid this year. When I talk about very solid, I think they're going to be one of the top teams without injury. I think they're going to be one of the top three teams in the West. And that's big to say because you have a lot of teams that could be the top three in the West. I think the Clippers are going to be top three in the West. How far they'll go in the playoffs, I do not know. I got to see that. But I just think the combination of John Wall on that team, John Wall don't have to be who he was 10 years ago. He still got the mind. He still has the moves. He might be a little slower than he was or whatnot. He's going to be tough when you're playing with him, Paul George, and Kawhi. That's a nightmare for people. That's a nightmare for certain teams.
The Clippers were actually my favorites to win all this year.
Real talk.
They were my favorites to win all.
Wow. Okay.
Coming back, I feel like the role players too. They have like an all around complete team, like just like defensive wise and everything. They have and with the coach Tyronn Lue, I feel like they have an all around complete team
too. Yeah.
Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and John Wall, all three of them.
If they
all three of them really didn't play last season. Yeah. Paul George played a little bit, but they're like rested up. They're rested up and everything. Yeah. So I think they're good to go. They're my favorites to win all. But the team for the West,
the surprise team
for the West, I'm gonna go ahead and say the New Orleans Pelicans, bro.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Pelicans, bro.
Oh, that's a good one.
They got Zion, Brandon Ingram, bro. My goodness, I'm blanking right now. But they have two other players.
C.J. McCollum.
C.J. McCollum, that's who it was. And
Brandon Ingram is raw.
Bro, I think them three,
they can mesh.
I feel like they'll be beating the teams. They might be beating the teams like the Warriors and Lakers.
Yeah,
like you can't see them on the schedule and be like, all right, it's just the Pelicans. Like, nah,
right.
Zion's back,
Yeah,
like,
Zion's back, and he's looking actually solid.
He looks a little more fit, yeah.
He looking
when he
solid.
first came into the league.
Back. And we haven't really been able to see him play too much, but when we did see him play, he was stealing the ball from your favorite player. He was blocking your favorite player. He was dunking on your favorite player. It was raw. Yeah. So, that's a great Pelicans. Where would you put them in the West? Like, do you see them being able to get in that top 8 seed, not have to play for the play-in, or top 6? You see them top 6 seed where they don't have to play for play-ins? Could they surprise people like that?
That's tough.
Last time I think they fell at 9 or 10, or they might have just missed.
I see them get like 8 or 7.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
I think they'll be in the play-ins.
They can get there.
It's a top six guaranteed.
Top
right?
6 guaranteed.
Yeah, I think they'll be in the play-ins this year.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Fight it out.
Yeah, they'll be in the play-ins for sure. I think they'll make the first round of the playoffs.
That's a great team. So I say the Clippers going to be a top 3 team. I don't think people are expecting that right now because the West is so deep. I think people probably would expect Golden State again. Memphis.
Obviously Lakers. Yeah.
Obviously the Lakers are always a hopefuls.
Yeah.
But you got Denver coming back with
Jamal
Murray. They haven't had Jamal Murray. And Jamal Murray, I always thought was. I thought he was supposed to be more of the key piece of the team, and they made it more about Nikola, which Nikola's raw. But I'm realizing they're going to have to both play like stars if they want to go far in the playoffs. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, they're going to need each other because Jamal Murray is athletic, smart, and can play. He can play, man.
He can hoop. He can play.
And so we haven't seen him all year.
Yeah,
he's been rested Kawhi all year.
Yeah, so, I think the Clippers. Yeah.
It's gonna be an exciting. Hey, it's gonna be exciting NBA season.
Hey, it's like what 3 weeks until 3 weeks until
about 3 weeks, man.
3-4 weeks till it starts. So
about 3 weeks away.
Preseason starts like a week or two. So
okay, so that'll be good.
Yeah, man.
And we covered a lot of topics today.
Oh yeah,
a lot of NBA topics. A lot of some stuff that's away from the court, but stuff that we got to talk about.
It's in the sports world. It's in the sports world.
Yeah, and it's stuff that we hear about. So what we hear about, we talk about. What we know y'all hear about, we talking about.
Yep, and
we appreciate y'all.
Like I said, man, SNJ Sports Talk, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff.
All of them.
On YouTube.
All the major platforms.
Yeah. All the major platforms. SNJ Sports Talk. We're coming on Google Podcasts soon and everything else. Yeah, but yeah.
Leave a comment for us.
Yeah. Like I said, guys, leave a comment in this YouTube video right now or any of the YouTube videos. We'll see them. Just leave a comment with one thing you want to know about me or Stanley or a question you have about the sports world. And we'll answer it in the next podcast episode.
Yep. That sounds about good.
Alrighty, man.
Sounds out of here. All right. Peace, y'all. SNJ Sports Talk. Y'all enjoy.